Rumors of React Court's demise have been greatly exaggerated. I want you to know that when it comes to like streamers who love the job, I think there's streamers who tolerate it, okay? And I'm not like going Super Saiyan every single day. Some days I'm like, I'm okay to be here, and some days I'm like, I'm having an amazing time. Like this is the meaning of my life. But I am like an hour and 20 minutes into the stream. We just got started doing normal content, but I dragged my daughter to daycare in probably, like, not exaggerating, like the biggest blizzard in Vancouver in, I don't know, like the 10 years that I've lived here. At least is one of the top three. Like almost everything is closed. Walked all the way back and then smashed my thumb in my own back door due to my own hustle. Unfortunately, me being an idiot was like, I'm 30 minutes late, I gotta go fast. Tunk, what an idiot. Thumbnail turned completely white, so I got it all gauzed up here. But yeah, and I'm live. And can I don't ask for it too much. Can I get a little easy clap in the chat? Thank you. Thank you. Okay? And it's not like I don't feel like I have to be here. I feel like I want to be here. And this, like, I know you're on YouTube, you're going to be like, oh, it's crazy how this was like the last video he posted before the thumb infection spread to his brain and killed him. But hopefully that's not the case. Look, it's bad, but it's not that bad. Like, I'm okay. I'm not going to go to the hospital for this unless it starts to smell vaguely of almonds. But anyway, whoo, I'm feeling good. Am I the asshole for taking an Uber to a wedding so I wouldn't be late? My sister got married last weekend. Easy claps in the chat, please. I flew into town and my parents insisted I stay with them instead of a hotel, just like I wanted. My parents are consistently late for everything. I think it's a Latin thing. I hate being late. I think it's disrespectful. All right, immediately not the asshole. I know I'm late a lot, but listen, all I'm going to say, you're not going to... when it's me in charge of my own destiny, then I'm here when I'm supposed to be here. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the baby is like, you know, I'm on track for being on time, and then she has like a third diaper in the morning or something like that. It happens, okay? It happens. Noon rolls up, and my folks, oh, sorry, the wedding was at 2:30. My folks live about half an hour from the church. Okay, in my head, here's how early people think, okay? The wedding's at 2:30. My folks live half an hour from the church. You do not, late people will be like, we'll leave at 2. No, that's because you got to, once you get to the church, you have to park, and there's going to be tons of people parked on the street because it's a wedding. So it might take you a little longer to park. And then you got to walk in, and that's when the thing's supposed to start. So you should be in your seat by then. You're not supposed to be walking in at the same time as like the bride and the groom, right? You're not supposed to be walking in and taking your seat in the pew when they're playing the wedding march by Methuselah. What's his name? Mendelssohn. Okay, so me, if it was me, you live a half an hour from the church, it starts at 2:30. I would want to be there at 2. So I would tell myself I would leave at 1:30, and then my ass would be ready at 1:15, and I'd be like, well, what am I going to do? Turn on the TV and watch 15 minutes of shit that I don't care about? So I would be leaving the house at like 1:17. I'd be showing up at the same time, like they're still getting the flowers set up, and there would be nobody in the pews. And I would be like, well, even though I'm here first, I'm not going to sit at the front because they're just like a friend of mine. Like, that's where the family's supposed to sit. So I would be sitting there like 5 pews back on the side of the person's family that I knew, and just looking at my phone for like 45 minutes. I'm not saying all early people are like you don't win. When you're early, you usually lose because you have to spend more time like waiting for late people. And you know, the most messed up thing about all of it is like they're going to say that it's going to start at 2:30, but they're actually going to start at like 2:40 because they're going to be like, this guy's parents are going to be late, so we're not going to start right at 2:30. So the late people get accommodated for, and the early people get they get it from both sides. But anyway, sorry. They are adults and I am over dealing with them. Hold on. Noon rolls up and my parents aren't even getting ready yet. I don't listen. If you are, and I apologize for the heteronormative gender roles. For a man to get ready for a wedding is max 1 hour if he's not in the wedding. You take a shower, maybe you have to shave, and then you find your suit, you put it on. Maybe you got to steam out some wrinkles. So they're not super late here at noon. Maybe his mom has to, bathe, dry her hair, eat some lunch or something like that. It's their daughter getting married? Oh yeah, wait. Never mind. Oh yeah, they should have been getting ready at like 9. And even that's kind of pushing it. I got ready. I send for an Uber. I'm in the church at 2. I check in with my sister. She asked if I had any problems getting my parents to church. I told her I came by myself. She bewuma white. She bewuma white. And said that I was responsible for getting them there on time. She bewuma white. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. Can I get an auto correct on this one? She turned white. Okay, because she was shocked. Well, nobody asked me to do that. I didn't even want to stay there. So now everyone starts calling my parents. They're getting ready. They were about 35 minutes late. The service was shortened because there was another wedding later that day. Everyone is still mad at me for not getting my parents there on time. My aunt said I'm an asshole for messing up the timing of the wedding. My mom says it's my fault for not reminding them to get ready. Am I the only one who thinks adults should be able to be on time for their own kid's wedding without help? Not the asshole. Cut and dried, not the asshole. Listen, your parents are old enough that for a special event like this, for your child's wedding, I mean, when are you going to learn that your actions have consequences, right? It's you should have your parents should have had a moment in their lives up to this point where they were like their lateness was tolerated, and then one day it wasn't. One day they were like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late for this thing, but don't worry, it's never a big deal. And then it was a big deal, and then they go, okay, I have to change my life now. I sympathize with the habitually late in the sense that it's always hard to change like ingrained habits. In a way, I feel lucky. Like I'm extremely rarely late for things if it's just me. But I'm lucky because that was the lesson that was taught to me by my parents. My mom is even like a little bit crazy about it. If they like have a flight that leaves at like noon, they'll be like, okay, well, we have to be at the airport 2 hours early. So we got to be at the airport at 10. So we're going to have to, it's a 30-minute drive to the airport. So we're going to leave at 4:30 a.m. Maybe we should just sleep in the airport overnight, you know? So that is the lesson that was passed on to me, and I peeled back some of it to preserve my sanity. It is hard to change your habits if you're like if you're habitually late, I'm sure, but like I don't know, it's like this is the other people have stuff to do too. Maybe your parents are 100? That seems unlikely. Do you know that if you looked at the demographic breakdown of the world, you know what percentage of the population is 100 years old? It's like 0.05% of the population. Everybody knows like one 100-year-old. But think about how many people you know that are not fucking 100. Like all of them, except for, statistically speaking, Aunt Ruth. Are there more 100-year-olds or people that are 7 feet tall? That's a great question. That's a fantastic question. I bet there's more 100-year-olds. You could do a back of the napkin calculation. What percentage of adults are 7 feet, or kids, I guess? What's the proportion of 7 feet tall individuals? It's got to be like 1 in 10,000 or something like that, maybe even less. And then how many people live to be 100 years old? It's got to be, well, I don't know. I feel like 1 in 10,000 might be a bit of a stretch, but this is a real question. How many 100-year-olds are 7 feet tall? I think I feel pretty comfortable saying the answer there is like probably Zero. Especially because you shrink as you get older. Lots of people 6'11" or or around there, but yeah. Also, if you're 100 years old, no one cares. But first off, the sister would be getting married. No, but nobody that is 100 years old has a kid that's getting married where their sibling is contemporary enough to be like, I'll just take an Uber. They would be in a horse-drawn carriage, and it's a fundamentally you're begging the question. Why are you so slavish to the three-question format? Anyway, this is a good way to get started because this is cut and dry, not the asshole. Like I can see why people would be like a little bit annoyed, like that, because listen, you let your parents take the shot. Now your parents got in front of the bullet. Don't get me wrong. The nicest thing to do would be to show up with them, and then when they were like, "Why are you late?" be like, "Why do you think?" And everyone would know. Everyone would know without even having to say it. It's the subtext that adults speak with every day, okay? Everyone would laugh. But I don't think you did a disservice by making sure that you made it in time to see your sister get married. You could start to, but here's the thing. So people always say that, if you know there's going to be late people, tell them that it starts 30 minutes early. I feel like that's like, though, I feel like if I tried that, the one time I did it, they would show up on time and be like, yo, what the fuck? And also, now I got to keep like 20 lies in my head. Oh, the latest person, I told him it was going to start an hour before it started. Then, like, this person's like a little late, so I told him it was going to be 15 minutes before it's just too much to keep track of, That is and also you do run the risk of making them the main character, right? Because if they're a late person and you tell them to be there at an early time when it's not actually, like to preempt it, then they're like, oh, well, next time, if they tell me the time, I'm just going to show up 30 minutes later. Because I know you give everybody the 30-minute extra window at the start. You're starting an arms race. There are 3,007 feet tall people in the world and 500,000 100-year-olds. Okay, 100-year-olds win. Now, here's another question. If you put all the people who are 7 feet tall on one side and all of the 100-year-olds on the other, who wins the tug of war? Might sound crazy. I honestly think I would go with the 100-year-olds even still. Just due to sheer numbers. I mean, that's like 150 to 1. Do you think you could, if you were 7 feet tall, it's an honest question. We're doing thought experiments, okay? You know why? I'm delirious. Let's not even assume you're 7 feet tall. Do you think you could beat 1 versus 150 100-year-olds in a tug of war? Because I don't feel comfortable saying that. I think that the average 100-year-old is probably more than 1% strong as I am. Which means if you add up 150, I mean, I don't exactly know how the physics work, but all you need is like one 100-year-old that's 10% of your strength, and then it's over for you. Let me put it that way. Once one falls down, it's all over. Listen, we're verging into slightly offensive territory, okay? If there's any 100-year-olds watching this right now, I'd like to apologize. It's sobering to think of the fact that you would be born in 1922. Think of all the things you've seen. My God. Calvin Coolidge, the presidency of Calvin Coolidge. Did you know that Calvin Coolidge had a reputation for being humorless when he was the president? Something that, to be honest, I look back on with a little wistful fondness. I wish that was us now. We could use a little bit of that in the modern era. Calvin Coolidge had a reputation for being humorless. In a public relations campaign, he tried to reverse that image and make himself seem a little bit cooler ironically, by throwing a party on the White House lawn. New York Times reported on the party. You know what the headline was? President nearly laughs. I miss the era, man. I miss the era when the world's biggest newspapers were just wilding out. Just owning people left, right, and center. Thank you for asking, Kate. I think my thumb, I don't think it's great, but I do think it's not going to be as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's not great. What happened to it? I kind of smushed it in the back door, like between the, I had it where the hinge is, and then I closed the door on it by accident. And then the nail turned completely white, and we put some gauze on it. I mean, I got it. No, someone tried to steal our daughter on the way to daycare, and I went, wah! Jonathan. I know you're delirious because of the painkillers. Brother, I took 1 Tylenol. You know, people be waking up with a headache taking 2 Tylenols? I took 1 little red, like an easy swallow tab. I do think it's realistic that I lose the thumbnail, though. When I looked, like, when you take, and I apologize on YouTube, you're probably like, please give us some more, like, content. But this is my content for today, okay? When you got to use the adrenaline you have when you hurt yourself. So I went upstairs, holding my thumb, and I looked at Kate, and the first thing I said is, like, with the most calm demeanor I could muster, I said, don't freak out, I hurt my thumb really bad. And then I just went to the bathroom and started running cold water on it. And then I was running the sink on top of it, and she was like, your thumbnail's completely white. And I had to resist every impulse in my body to be like, yeah, I know. But it's not like she's going to whisper and she's going to be like, Nita, Huta, Fista. And then the thumb's going to be like better. Like, what is she supposed to say? Is she supposed to say, does it hurt? It's the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, obviously. There's like nothing she could have said where I would have been like, thank you for your healing incantation, right? And then she wrapped it up so nice. There's a Band-Aid under this too. Whew. Anyway, not the asshole. If they need to be reminded to get ready on their daughter's wedding day, they need a live-in caretaker. Unless you were specifically asked to get them to the church, that's not your job. If your sister thinks you messed up the wedding by being on time, I think it's a good time for some space between you and your family. That might be a little much, but I do understand where you're coming from. I mean, the sisters just, you got to recognize that there's some collateral damage here that's not your fault, but I could see why people would be mad. You know, your sister's like, oh, mom and dad didn't make it to my wedding on time. And it's kind of like, you know, I thought it was your responsibility. Kate, stop roasting me. She's in chat going, he just kept saying, ah. Yeah, I did have my head bowed while running the sink on my thumb going, ah. I wasn't going, ah, but I was going, ah. It hurt, and it still hurts. But it's not like, I wasn't just doing it for, you know, for humor's sake. And then, Kate, did you see, well, maybe you didn't see, then, like I was telling the story about crushing my freaking thumb into the door, and then Tomo threw up in the corner, like on open mic. And then, so I got up, I got the paper towels and cleaned it. Everyone's like, most cursed stream I've ever seen in my life. And then when I sat back down, I grabbed my muffin to take a bite and I dropped it on the floor. It's like, it's just not my day today. Not the asshole. If they wanted you to do that, they should have asked in advance. Where's the, like, this one's honestly like you're based. Letting someone experience the consequences of their actions is the natural way that it's supposed to work. Now, like, if it was a child, you're supposed to build some scaffolding there. You're supposed to let them make mistakes in a way that doesn't actually, like, you know, impact their life too much. But, like, if you're in your 40s, your 50s, or your 60s, then yeah, you know, What did you think? Like people were just going to be like, "Oh, that's just I love them because they're late." No, they're going to be like, "This is annoying." So like get out of here. Okay, so the comments do not disagree. Everyone told me the comments were going to disagree. The comments do not disagree. Do you still have your life insurance? Just checking. No, ironically, that policy has not kicked in yet. I need to have a nurse come to our house and take a blood and urine sample. If she wants a blood sample, I'll just stick my hand out the window right now. She wants a urine sample, I'll wring out my underwear. Oh. Am I the asshole for not wanting my husband to go to his ex's funeral? Yeah. Holy cow, this is a long one. Bro, like, she's dead. You won. What do you mean he's not allowed to go to the funeral? I'll admit I'm biased right off the bat. I couldn't stand her. I call her his ex to myself and others. He called her his friend. We were all in our 40s. She died recently, aneurysm. I've been with him for 10 years now, but he'd known her for 20 plus. With none of this, like the aneurysm part, sure. Not that we really deserve to know because this is a complete stranger, but simultaneously, like this is way too much information that doesn't matter at all. Can you imagine if it did say she died, thumb indoor? Oh, man. The way he tells it, they were friends in college, decided to date, got married, and then realized they weren't a great couple and decided to just be friends. All that happened years before I met him. He was clear early on that she was important. A couple months into dating, it came up that his friend was actually his ex-wife. Okay, I see. He explained the above to me, saying she was one of his closest friends and it was purely platonic. I expressed some discomfort at him being so close to his ex. And he told me, that's fine. If you have a serious issue with it, let me know and save us some time. I'll choose her. I like you and all, but I've known her for over 12 years and she's one of the most important people in my life. You'll have to be okay with that if you want us to be a thing. Okay. It is kind of a giga chad, but at the same time, like, he set his boundaries early and she went with it. When we were engaged, I asked again. He gave me this perplexed look and asked, why would us getting married affect my friendship? I sucked it up and went along. I resented every moment of knowing her, especially when we had to be social. She understood some part of him I couldn't. Her husband was friends with mine as well, so it's not like I could use him as an angle. What does that mean? As an angle? Why are you using a human being as an angle? I sort of don't even understand the question. This is a fake story? I don't know. Would you just give it a little extra time? What is this r/Helltaker post? Isn't Helltaker that good but also incredibly horny Steam game? It doesn't appear to be not safe for work. I also see RoboCop on it. He'd have lunch with his ex. Then they'd go to their geeky movie. Okay, I think you're right. I think this is bait, designed to make people upset. As soon as she said geeky movies. Nobody's making a post on Reddit like they're Rachel McAdams from Mean Girls. They'd go see their geeky movies, Thor, Ragnarok, and so on, such the Batman. The few times I brought it up, he said, we've had this conversation before. You had your chance to back out. She died after they had lunch the other day on the way to her car. He spent a bunch of time crying, but honestly, I was relieved. You're just like, this is made up. Other people might fall for this. I'm not going to fall for this. That's crazy. He spent a bunch of time crying, but I was relieved. Oh, man. Here's one that this has got to be bald posting, right? Am I the asshole for saying I won't come to Christmas at my in-laws if I can't wear a hat? I gotta know. This is a petty little thing, but maybe you guys could help me know if I was in the wrong. For context, I, 25F, got married in November. Okay, maybe not bald posting. My mother-in-law doesn't really like me, even trying to steal the spotlight at my wedding, but is still overly traditional. At Thanksgiving, I was having a really bad hair day, so I wore a black leather cap, a dressier newsboy style one. Oh, no, dude. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Which my husband said looked great on me. The holiday was hostile, even more so than prior gatherings that I'd been to, and my hubby said his mother-in-law said it was because I wore a hat, but I know it was just an excuse. I told mother-in-law I wouldn't come to Christmas with them, and then blocked her number and her Facebook. My husband is trying to keep us both happy because he doesn't like conflict. He wants me to come to one more celebration to see if maybe people are getting used to me. He told his mother she needs to be nice and treat me as part of the family since I am. And if I feel unwelcome at Christmas like I did at Thanksgiving, that we won't attend future events and she won't see him much anymore. I understand why he wants me to go give them one final chance and haven't had any conflict with him. Marriage is about compromise, and I get that he doesn't want to cut her off since she's his mother, but I just don't want to be involved with her unless I have to be. Okay, but like, what does this have to do with a hat so far? Like, it doesn't really seem like this is entirely driven by the hat. It seems like she was just like disrespectful to you. I will say, like, outside, winter, summer, I'm wearing a hat. I had to remember that, like, there are people who consider hats disrespectful. Like, I remember, Kate, we had dinner with my parents' friends, and the dad was like, because you're the son of my friend, I'll let you wear your hat inside, but otherwise I wouldn't. I was just like, some people are very, it was his house. I was, in my head, was I like, that's a little bit weird? Yeah, but at the same time, I was like, all right, wait, I mean, is your house, your rules, and I'll probably never see you again anyway, which is fine. And then I've also, like, I realized I shouldn't be wearing my Canadian hat on the Disney cruises because apparently my server thinks I'm wearing marijuana-based paraphernalia. But anyway, that's beside the point, I suppose. I'm mostly just looking for a chance to reference it and tie it back into earlier content. I wanted to see if mother-in-law was listening to him, so I asked my husband to request that I be allowed to wear the same hat to Christmas. Hubby said I thought I'd worn it because I had a bad hair day, but this time it's as a statement that they shouldn't treat me as an outsider, either because I wear hats all the time. Right now it's just a sports visor, which I'd never wear to a holiday, so it's not like I'm doing that. When she says right now it's a sports visor, she's talking about the hat that she's wearing while she's writing the post. Am I correct in putting this in context? Yes, okay. All right. Or they just don't like me. If they won't let me wear a hat, what else are they going to restrict about me? Let me be me or I won't come. Period. My husband agreed and relayed this. Of course he did. Because you're like, no offense, you're a little insane. Which is fine. Everybody's crazy in their own way. But I understand. He's like, just let her wear the hat rather than get in like a 2-hour-long argument about whether a visor is really a hat or, et cetera, et cetera. My husband agreed and relayed this to his mother, and she's been asking him why he married the devil. He's growing tense with me, and I told him he'll probably have to pick a side sooner or later, and that I never intended it that way. He spent last night at a friend's house because he needed to think. I feel bad because I care about him, and I know conflict stresses him out. Well, at least you're picking like some serious battles. At least you're not stressing him out for no reason over something petty. You waited until you just couldn't take it anymore, until some very serious differences in values came to a head, and it's important. It's important to work through this stuff. I feel bad because I care about him. I know conflict stresses him out. I told him to text me when he's ready to talk. He hasn't yet. My friends think my hat request was unnecessary, and maybe I strained my relationship with my husband. I think he just needed space to think because conflict stresses him out. So I got to ask, am I the asshole for saying I won't come if I don't wear a hat? Update. My husband just texted me saying he got off the phone with his mother. He told her off for calling me the devil and said if I can't wear a hat, he's not coming either. And that she really should get over her antiquated BS. She did not respond well. I don't think we're going to Christmas there now, so maybe we'll have a Friendsmas. I don't know. We'll think of something. So I think that this person is not necessarily picking their battles appropriately. I don't really think that they're being an asshole. I think that it's the same situation or a very similar situation to maintain some form of like cognitive resonance as when somebody wants to bring their own food to a holiday. If I'm okay with somebody bringing a garden salad or samosas or, Kanaka broad or whatever to Christmas, why should I not be okay with someone bringing a hat? If they're most comfortable in a hat, why not let her wear a hat? I think it's weird. And then, like maybe after you left my house, I might be like, if I was her husband, I'd be worried because I don't have a flat brim and a snapback. I'd be worried that maybe like one day she would like leave me for her hat or something like that. I might make some sort of joke about it, some sort of some sort of insults, but I would still welcome them to Thanksgiving and then just maybe make one hat-based joke about them after they left, to which the other people at the party who were still there would say, "You're bad." And I would go, I'm just saying. I shouldn't say it. I don't think this is just weird. It's just, I don't know what to say, like, on the other side. Like, I feel like if it's your house, you do have the right to say you can't wear a hat in my house. But at the same time, you shouldn't be surprised if people are like, well, I'm not going to come to your house then. You got the right. You got the right to do a lot of things that will, like, alienate people and leave you with, like, no friends at Christmas time. It's not like they're gonna put you in prison for it, but they might be like, man, if I could choose to spend time with someone on the holidays, she falls out of my top 8. You know what I mean? I do want to see the hat, man. I hate how she described the hat. I think that's really why I've found myself almost wanting to say everybody sucks here. Is when she was like, it's a dressy leather newsboy cap. That's where I was like, I can't. You remember when those photos on Twitter that are like, what were we thinking in 2009? And it's 50 Cent where he's dressed like he's in Peaky Blinders and stuff like that. 1990s Christina Aguilera vibes. There's definitely, I'm picturing Christina Aguilera from the Dirty Tour. The Dirty Tour. Is it Aguilera? Christina Aguilera. Aguilera. Introducing Christina Aguilera. I think I grew up saying Aguilera. Is that how it's said? The wickedly talented Adele Dazeem. I can't read all that. I'm sorry. It's just going by too fast. It's too much. Everybody sucks here. You took a situation that could have been a first step towards a less contentious relationship with your mother-in-law and made demands which intentionally antagonized her. Of course, you should be able to wear whatever you want. And your mother-in-law is being insane. But do you want to be right or do you want peace in the family? Well, she wants to be right. Absolutely. I think that's very clear. Just the way that she said, if it's not the hat, then what else is it going to be? Well, it seems like it's going to be whatever else you let it be, but that's fine. I mean, it's the same. You should be able to show up for the holidays like whatever you're comfortable in. I don't know if it's just like a generational difference, but I feel like most people like my age, if I went to Christmas dinner and I was like wearing a suit and then my brother-in-law was wearing like a bathrobe, I would be like, get it, brother. Oh, I wasted all this time putting on a suit and you're wearing a bathrobe? Who the fuck cares? The earth is warming at like 0.25 degrees annually. We got other shit to worry about. Like, you just eat the dinner? It's not a big deal. Like, the animals are leaving and just seems like this. Like, I don't care. Maybe he just wants to be comfortable. That's what we were saying. I know I was talking about it with Apollo. But he was like, nothing should have a dress code, even like funerals. And I was like, that's a little bit too far for me. But like at the same time, why is he wrong? If someone wants to show up to like their family's funeral in socks and sandals and cargo shorts, like the day's already hard enough. Like who gives a shit? Oh, you're not taking it seriously because you don't have sleeves on your legs. Maybe it's a little weird. It's disrespectful? Bro, it's respectful to like answer your family's calls. You know, it's respectful to, when it snows, to like shovel their driveway. Who cares what you wear to the funeral? Like, listen, I would wear a suit, but if somebody showed up in like a Hawaiian shirt, I wouldn't be like, oh, they're celebrating. I would be like, their ass was probably late, and they were like, well, it's between my pajama shirt that says baby dick and the Hawaiian shirt, and at least the Hawaiian shirt has buttons. You know, it's just, I'm judgmental, but I'm not judgmental in that way. I'm more judgmental that, like, you know, I'm like, why are you walking down the middle of the grocery aisle when implicitly there's supposed to be like a left side and a right side for two different directions of traffic to move through? Like, are you nearsighted and farsighted, so you have to be standing exactly in the midpoint of the aisle so no carts can get past you in either direction? Hold on, I got a little hangnail here. The day's tragedies never cease, man. Who asked? No, that's fair. That's fair. Not another nail. Am I the asshole for telling my husband's daughter to stop calling me mom? We've seen these too much. Like, I can't go back with this. I can't do that. How about this? Okay, there's the two good ones. Am I the asshole for asking my daughter for help? 11,000 upvotes, certified asshole. Okay, so this is... I love this title. Oh, I'm the asshole for asking for help? And then everybody read the post and said, yep, yep. That is true. Something tells me they're misrepresenting the situation. Wanted to clarify two things. I'm her dad. Not sure why everyone keeps referring to me as her mother. Everyone keeps telling me the grade due date is actually the post date. If I was allowed, I would post a link so you could see the calendar literally says December 19th, grades due from faculty, and December 20th, grades posted. She literally admitted to lying that they were due Sunday today, so I'm not sure why people are so stuck on insisting I'm wrong about that. Okay. I'm 54 and my daughter is 28. She's home on break from grad school getting her PhD. She's only home for 2 weeks because she said she doesn't have any more time, even though she has a month break. That's been a big thing. Your daughter is an adult, by the way. Your daughter is 28 years old. Why are you being so, like, I don't know. Why are you telling me this story expecting that other people would be like, yeah, that seems normal? Wow, dude, your daughter sounds like a total bitch. You're right. Get her ass. That's been a big thing with her lately. She's constantly too busy to do things with us or help us out, even though she does have the time. I got my younger daughter a sweater, and it turns out she already has it. I called my older daughter from work on Friday and told her she needed to run and exchange it for a different one. Bro, buddy, that's your problem. No wonder she's saying she's too busy. You fucked up, and now she's got to go to the mall on like December 17th or something like that. You're calling her when she's at work? Oh, from your work while she's just getting her PhD. Just living her salad days. She said, okay, she'd do it the next day. I said it needed to be done that day to get the best options. Listen, by December 18th, all the sweaters are going to be gone. Everybody knows peak sweater buying day is December 17th. This is crazy. I told her it needed to be done that day to get the best option. She said she was grading, so she can't. I told her it's not like she can't pause her grading, run out, and exchange it. She said she wasn't going to slow down her work and just said that I should do it when I got back from work. I said I was busy and I don't feel like running out after a long day of work. And she said neither did she, but she doesn't have a long day of work. She's sitting on her computer all day and doesn't even have scheduled hours to work. She can do it whenever she wants. Holy cow. If this is real, this guy is Father of the Year for sure. Today things really kicked off because I needed her to pick up an online order for a gift for my mom, her grandma. She again used the excuse of grading. She hadn't even started working yet. It was in the morning and she was drinking coffee and having breakfast. Oh man, this is so good. She said that she needs to have her grades done today, but I looked it up on the website because I'm insanely busy. And she has until Monday evening, so I called her on her BS, and she said she had other work due on Monday. Oh, apparently you don't just have like one thing to do. Apparently she's got like multiple things to do, and not all of them are like listed on the website or something. She had other work due on Monday, so she needed to get the grading done today, but wouldn't enlighten me on what this mysterious other work is because she's 28 years old, and honestly, it's none of my business. I said, well, tough. Grandma's gift needs to be picked up today, even though it's like 9 days till Christmas. But so all this shit needs to be done today. It doesn't actually have to be done today. If it's gotta be done, I can't even get through the post. If it's gotta be done today, then you do it. If it doesn't have to be done today, then you can delegate maybe, and maybe out of the goodness of their heart they'll help you out. But this is crazy, man. So I can wrap it, and I was going into the office, so I couldn't do it. She said that if I don't want to do it myself, then it will be done on her own time. I told her with that attitude, she can stay somewhere else. She said happily and packed. She said she called my bluff, and I was like, oh shit, my wife is gonna be furious. And I tried to walk it back, but she was already gone. Packed her things, claiming she didn't want to stay here anyway and was only doing so because I insisted. She left her gifts and said not to expect her for the holidays. She'll just go to her girlfriend's family instead. I think it's ridiculous that she's throwing a fit just because she can't constantly live like she's the only person on the planet, but my wife and other daughter is now furious with me, which I think is crazy, but that's, a subject for a completely different post. So I figured I'd ask here because my younger daughter is always reading the stories with me. Am I the asshole or am I correct correct that my daughter is self-centered and childish? Holy cow. I mean, if this is real, this guy he's out of touch and he's also out of time. Number one, unless you have, and this is toddler posting, okay? Please do not describe an adult's having enough of being mistreated as a tantrum, okay? Tantrum, and Kate will tell you this, is when my daughter is like, I want chocolate. And I'm like, you can't have chocolate until you get in the high chair. Not you can't have chocolate, but you can't have chocolate until you get in the high chair. And then she spends like 5 minutes going ape shit. And I'm like, literally, it's a 5-second chore. Maybe 10 seconds now, but otherwise it's a 5-second chore that we can do, and then we can give you the chocolate. But like the 2-year-old brain doesn't understand, the cause and effect relationship there, okay? Because she's 2. No, I mean, adults can throw a temper tantrum. It reminds me of that lady at J. Willie's who started to cry when she got served her hamburger on sourdough bread instead of a hamburger bun. I think of it all the time. This is the second reference to it today, quite frankly, I think. She keeps getting lit up. Maybe she was just having a hard day. Yeah, whatever, Lots of people have hard days. You know what they do? You know what make your day easier? You just eat the damn bread. It's the same chemical composition. Just got a couple extra sour molecules or something. I'll write it. I'm eating the muffin that fell on the damn floor, dude. And it's damn good. Anyway, what do you mean she's allergic to sour? The hell are you talking about? I made that comment up. I just thought it would be funny. Anyway. No, you're the asshole. I mean, I don't even know what you can say about this situation. It's literally so annoying. Someone's like, "Hey, let me tell you something, okay? Almost everybody thinks that they're busy the whole time. I actually am, but almost everybody thinks that they're busy the whole time from about age 16 until death, okay? So I understand that when you think you're busy and then you're like, here's another fucking thing to do. You're like, I'm too busy to do that shit. So you are then like immediately like, how do I get out of this shit? Because I'm too busy to deal with it. So you try to like put it off on somebody else. But like you can't put it off on somebody else for one, and then especially with like an urgent time constraint on it, unless like for a dumb reason. Hey, grandma, hop behind the wheel of the car and crash into a light post. Can you go meet her at the hospital? I'm busy. Okay, well, you gotta go. Like that one, like literally, you got that one, you gotta bite the bullet on. Hey, I accidentally bought your sister a sweater she already has. Can you go to the mall and exchange it for me for a new one? Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Unacceptable. Obviously that you're crazy. You've lost your mind. So like I'm assuming that this is a real post and is not bait. I'm sure there probably are people like this in real life, but I'm sure that even just saying I'm sure that there's people like this in real life is just confirming my own bias, which basically I want to believe that there's someone like this in real life so that I can light them up anonymously through the internet. But anyway, we don't even need to read the comments here because the comments are going to go over the top. They're basically going to tell this guy to, like punch his own ticket. You're the asshole. Am I correct that my daughter is self-centered and childish? Nope, that's a mirror you're looking at. Okay, like, see, that's just the kind of like this is, what is this, like an insult rap competition? Your mother is so fat that when she sits around the house, she eats more calories than she needs to, putting her at a thermodynamic surplus in spite of her relative sedentariness. I'm sorry. It's an awfully hot coffee pot. You're the asshole. This must be a joke. First, suggesting that sitting at a computer isn't work/hard work. This is definitely a Discord admin. I didn't say mod. I said Discord admin. They've got other stuff to do. The mods are doing hard work. Thumb? What's wrong with what? This is what you want to see? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kidding. I remember that the tape was on there. My friend, who is a radiologist, always works from bed in his PJs and a bag of chips and makes close to $500,000 reading images. My husband is a lawyer, and most days he is in his PJs in bed writing some comments for the top law firm in the country. Do you think if your husband works at the top law firm in the country, he wants you identifying him like this? I'm not saying it's like a big deal necessarily, but like if you just said he's a lawyer, that's one thing. If you said he's the top law firm in the country, like we could probably figure out who your husband is. And then like, I'm not saying it would reflect badly on him necessarily, but some people might find it reflect badly on him. Also, is that true about a radiologist? I thought a radiologist was like handling the X-rays like in the hospital. Aren't they configuring the machine and stuff like that, and then telling you that don't worry, it's a very small dose of radiation, and then getting in a lead-lined room and hitting a button that goes pew! That's the tech. Okay. And then they just send the pictures over Discord to someone at home in their pajamas, and they go, yeah, his thumb's broken. pretty much. Okay. Not too far from the truth. No, it's not so bad. Not so bad. I thought that's, dude, like, this is my whole thesis on the medical industry is that you should, like, just min max for the easiest job that pays the most money. And I always thought people go, like, become an anesthesiologist. That's crazy. You got people's lives in your hands. You're like, miss a decimal point and, people are waking up real groggy. I don't want to be an anesthesiologist. I feel like being a podiatrist wouldn't be that bad. You get doctor money. You do see, I'm not saying it's a walk in the park, but pun intended. You're going to see some people's like really messed up feet. You're going to see funguses and you're going to see injuries that'll be, the first couple of months on the job will probably make you cringe until you get desensitized to it. But like, at least you're very rarely, I think, are you going to see someone's foot and be like, you have to break the news that they're dying. You're not going to have to, nobody's coming in with the sniffles and getting you like infected with RSV. They're just going, hey, here's my trench foot, So I'm not saying you don't have bad stuff come in, but it's at like a relative happy zone, It's in the Goldilocks zone. That's just my 2 cents. The road specialties are radiology, ophthalmology, anesthesiology, and dermatology. They are considered to have the cushiest lives within the medical profession. Because I'm not saying it's like you could have a cushier life. You could just be, like Paris Hilton or whatever. But ophthalmology, I could not do. I don't think I would enjoy looking at someone's fucked up eyeball. I mean, I don't think I could. Enjoy is not even the right word. And if I had to do like eye surgery, that's one of the things I don't think I have the stomach for. A podiatrist, I think I could handle. Because a foot is just like, I don't know. It's weird to say, but I don't really consider my feet like part of my body. They're just like, they're like equipment, Like, I know they are, but like not as much as like, my eyes are, or like my tongue or something like that. A fucked up foot could be gnarly. Yeah, but what's it gonna look like? It's gonna look like a pretzel or something like that. A fucked up eyeball, and then you gotta shine the light in it, and I'm seeing like little worms swimming behind the cornea or something. I can't do that, man. What about foot fungus? At least I'm not saying it would be like the greatest day at the office. I'm just saying in the spectrum of things that doctors have to deal with, I would rather deal with fucked up feet over fucked up eyeballs. I'm glad that there's a hero out there dealing with the messed up eyeballs. I personally would rather deal with the messed up feet. You ever see a nail curl in? You ever slam your thumb into a back door? Watch the nail in a single millisecond turn from pink to pale white? Because I have. Merely 1 hour and 44 minutes ago. My thumb is more a part of my body than my damn foot, by the way. Although, I'll be honest, if I had to choose this injury to happen to my thumb or my foot, I guess I would rather choose my thumb. Because at least, like, your feet have got to be in shoes if you're going outside. At least your thumb can kind of, like, free ball it. Although I might want to wear some gloves. I can always just keep my hand in my pocket or something like that. And the other one is hailing a taxi cab. You've never seen barefoot TikTok? Bro, I watch TLC, My Feet Are Killing Me sometimes. You see some gross stuff. I'm just saying, like, I would rather see messed up shoes than be like a general practitioner and be like, hey, we got the lab results back. You're going to die. I'd rather fall on the grenade of like, brother, your foot is messed up. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'll let some real heroes do give the truly terrible news. Just be out here like, holy cow, you got to dry between your toes when you get out of the shower, my dude. Am I the asshole for telling my niece she can leave after she went against the rules in my home, which she was staying in rent-free? People love owning a home just so they can kick people out. I've never kicked anybody out of my house. That being said, we've never really had any visitors. We moved in like 2 months before COVID started and then had a baby. So I guess, I would be in prison if I kicked anybody out pretty much. But anyway, if you kept your shoes on, I'd probably kick you out, especially with all the snow on the ground. Don't even get me started with people who keep their shoes on in the house. It is weird. What are you going to do? Kick me out with your bare feet? Bro, I'm wearing socks. It's a little chilly down here on the hardwood. I can only assume, by the way, I'm looking at similar to this post, r/facepalm. No basic bodily functions allowed. I'm going to assume that this is a toilet that says, please do not urinate or defecate in the toilet. I'm just guessing. ETA, edit to add. When I said no socializing, I meant no one at my house. She can go out with anyone she wants. No issue. That's very big of you. Throwaways. I'm 30. My husband is 34. And my niece is 22. Okay. Our niece, Amy. Here we go. Here we go. Bust out the Punnett square. My husband's half-brother's daughter. My husband's half-brother, which is not the same as a stepbrother. A half-brother is like one same parent, one stranger parent. Okay. Stayed at our home recently for almost 2 weeks. She had exam season at college. Her school is a bit of a drive from where she lives, and she'd be losing a lot of studying time going back and forth. So she asked if she could stay with us as we're nearby. She didn't pay any type of rent, but did reimburse the increase in utilities. She offered, by the way. We didn't ask her to. I think having family stay at your house and expect... If they're staying at your house for an extended stay of, I'm going to say, more than 6 weeks, maybe you could start to talk about we need some sort of reimbursement. 2 weeks is well within the grace period of fuck off. 2 weeks is within the Goldilocks zone of just normal, conventional hospitality.